What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Hedera Hashgraph today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. HBAR, as it's better known. Here we are with about 5 days. I know it says 22 hours, but really it's actually like closer to 21 hours. It doesn't update. Even if you're like 15 minutes away, which we're about 15 minutes away from the next hour shifting, it's 5 days, 21 hours left in the week. 26.7 cents is the price. We're down 8% on the week already. We're like one day and 3 hours, not even 3 hours into the week. Down 8%. I have a feeling that we're going to be moving up, you guys. Typically, not always, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, not always, but typically your green weeks have wicks to the downside, baby. That's what you want. Not always. Sometimes you get green weeks that don't have wicks. That one didn't have a wick. That one didn't have a wick. That one had a small wick, you know. But hey, man, and that one there had no wick. But some of these candles, some of these big candles, they get some pretty big wicks behind them, man. And if we were to move up and close green, I mean, that's what happened the last 2 weeks. You started the week coming down, and then you came up, right? Last week you even went below where that candle was, just like you are now, and you still came up. So I actually I'm a fan of the fact that we're down. It's a superstition of mine, right? Here you are, beyond superstitions, looking at the actual data, finding support at prior resistance, prior support. I like it. Good stuff. Not a problem. Definitely not bad. Let's look at the high to low. Let's see. High to low right here, right at the 1272 on the fib extensions too. No matter what we were saying, the only way that you can think of it as a bad thing is, oh, it's down 8%. But hey, that's actually a good thing. It's a good time to buy, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Let's look at the indicators here. Okay, here's some bad stuff, but you have a lot of time. You have 5 days, 21 hours left. 5 days, 21 hours left in this week. If this week closes red, it's a bad thing because you're rejecting the overbought zone. That's not good. You don't want to do that. Okay, rejecting the overbought zone, bad. But this is not permanent. What's right here? The RSI reading is not permanent right now. It's not fixed until this week closes. If this week can come back up and close green, it could be 0.5%, it could be 1%, 5%, whatever, 25%, more than that, who cares? Any kind of green at all, you're in the overbought zone. And you guys remember what happens when you're in the overbought zone, right? Here, let's take a walk down memory lane. That's what happens when you get into the overbought zone, right? That's what happens when you get into the overbought zone. Even this here, this is what happens. So I guess overall, you really didn't get overbought until here. So that's what happens when you get overbought, right? And it's all relative. Relative strength index being the key words for the RSI, relative strength index. These were relatively strong moves for the movements that we'd seen. So you got to the overbought zone here. These moves are relatively strong. You're not even in the overbought zone. You're going to see stronger moves, probably more akin to what you saw last time. You're going to move up, right? So again, good things, relatively speaking, good things. So I think you are going to see some massive movements. This week's probably, let's see, this week here was 51% up. This week was 12%. This week was 7%. I would bet that by the end of this week, you're closing like 20% or more to the upside, which actually means that from here, you're down 8%. You're going to move over like 30% up, actually, by the end of this week, if my math's correct. Beyond the weekly RSI, if you can close it green, being a good thing getting into the overbought zone, you actually have some good stuff going on the MACD, bouncing off the zero line like this. You went below the zero. That's not a bounce off the zero. Yeah, it's a bounce off the zero. Actually, the MACD you can get a little bit. It's flexible. It's not so rigid. Don't be such a stiff. Okay, this thing's definitely not stiff. Looking at the stochastics, you're in the overbought zone, and that's fantastic as well, right? What's nice about the stochastics is you don't necessarily have to stay up here, but just in this general area. I mean, the last time you got overbought, again, akin to this, time before that, it's the same thing with the RSI, right? They're not the same. Don't treat them the same. They're very different, but they have similarities, okay? But they do have differences, and if you think that they're the same, well, you might miss the benefits of the fact that they're not the same. Anyways, 1 hour time frame. If it will load, and it will load, it's just so slow. Okay, here we go. I could have sang that too. Okay, here, I can't sing it. Here we go. 26.6 cents. We got 8 minutes left in this hour. You do have bullish divergence. You've got higher lows on the RSI. You've got lower lows in the price. You've got higher lows on the histogram. You've got lower lows on the price. You're double bottoming on your stochastics. You're more at an area to bounce than you are to reject. So that's good. You're looking pretty damn good actually here. You could go lower. Absolutely you could go lower. Let's look at this real quick. Come on now. Come on. Low to high. At the 0.5, I like it. I like this area as a support. Now what I will say is typically whenever you see this kind of break below the 382 and you back test it for resistance, typically that would take you to the golden ratio, right? Typically. Doesn't mean you have to go there, but let's entertain the thought. You're at 26.6 cents now. Where's the golden ratio? 25.6 cents, 25.1 cents. I think you can afford to drop 1 to 1.5 cents. It's not a problem. Okay, you're not dead. You're not gone in the wind. You're okay even if you go down there. And the golden ratio, it's golden. It's the perfect area to find support. It's totally fine. But where you're at now is also not a bad area to find support. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, I could go either way with this. I mean, you've got enough going on where you really could find support right now. 7 minutes left in this. It's not the easiest to say. I'll just say, I hate this because it's so cliche, and a lot of YouTubers do this, but I'm not doing it to be right. I'm just doing it because it's truly what I believe. We could bounce here, or we could go lower. Neither would surprise me, right? If it goes lower, I'm not going to be like, I was right, I told you. If it bounces here, I'm not going to be like, I was right, I told you. I don't care. Who cares about being right or wrong? I'm just saying, in the wheelhouse of expectations that I have, we could very well find support here. If I had to lean one way or another, like if someone said my life depended on it, I suppose I would feel more comfortable saying that we go to the golden ratio, I suppose. But I'd be like, man, I could die with that prediction because we could very well find support right here. Like it's not the easiest thing, but if I had to guess, I guess 25.6 to 25.1 cents. Yes, that's where we're gonna go. But even with that, I'm not gonna be like, I told you, I was right. I don't care. Who cares? Like we could very well find support. If we found support here, I would not be surprised. If we went down here, I would not be surprised. Okay, 4 hour time frame. Man, the people, what's funny, you know what's funny about the people who say, I was right, I told you, I'm so good. Now, there's certain people who, if they call for something to pump, and the next day it moves up like 100% or more, okay, all right, they deserve to brag a little bit, okay, that's cool. But like little stuff like this, the people that brag about this, what you'll never ever hear them say is when they're wrong. You'll never ever hear, every time they're right is a big deal, but when they're wrong, it's this thing that's just hush hush, it's not a big deal. That's why I don't care about being right or wrong, man. Because if I care about being right, I have to care about being wrong. And if you care about being right or wrong, you're missing the point. You should care about making money, not being right or wrong. It's not in this space. I know that sounds shallow, but it's not, right? You're investing because you want to make money. That's the whole point of investing, right? Get a return, make some money. If you're caring about being right or wrong, you're caring about the wrong thing. And you might think that being right equals making money, but that's not necessarily how it works, actually. You can be right 9 out of 10 times, and that one time you're wrong, you can lose all the money you made in those 9 times. Right there, that example, and it's very real. If anybody's traded or had a bad investment, you know what I'm talking about. That validates everything that I'm saying. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about making money. And the way that you make money without being right all the time is mitigating risk. It's basically the fruit of that topic there. Once you start to understand that, your brain shifts whenever it comes to investing, trading, all that stuff. And just because it shifts doesn't mean you're going to be a master or figure things out, but you're getting closer. You're on the right path. If you're focused on being right over being wrong, it's good to be right. It's nice to be right, but really, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about really if it's about anything, it's about knowing how to be wrong. Because anybody can be right, but not everybody knows how to be wrong. Most people are really bad at being wrong. Everybody's awesome at being right. It's not hard to do. It's really hard to be good at being wrong, right? That's where successful investors and traders come from. People who have patience, people who have good risk management. All right, anyways, 26.5 cents right now, 4 hour time frame. Bearish on the stochastics. Not bearish on the MACD, but you could go a little bit lower and then find support and move up. The RSI, yeah, you could find support here. You might go a little bit lower. You like to go a little bit lower, don't you? And you find resistance there, support there. I could see you going a little bit lower. I like that. That means that I'll live in my scenario in my head where someone's got a gun pointed at my head and I have to be right about HBAR. 25.6 cents, 25.1 cents. That's the area we're going to go to. Find support there and then move up. Now I'll brag about it. No, I don't care. Looking at the daily time frame now, zooming out a little bit more. You rejected the overbought zone, which isn't good. Yeah, you probably do get to the 50. You probably close today to the downside, to the red side. You'll have a higher low on. Watch this. This is something that is going to be accurate. Okay, this is 100% going to be accurate right here. You're going to have a higher daily close with a lower low in the RSI. You'll bounce off the 50, you'll have a higher low, and then you're moving up. Okay, that's what's happening. I don't care about the MACD. Stochastics are actually at a good area to find support, but you can go a little bit lower and still be fine. Overall, HBAR, you're consolidating in this area. That's what you're doing, okay? Consolidating, and consolidating is good. It gives you time to think about things and make the right decisions or the wrong ones. The weak hands, the paper hands, they're going to fold in the wind. They're going to sell. The people who are strong hands, who have the best intentions, who know what they're doing, the smart money, they're going to buy from the paper hands. This is a liquidity grab event right here, what's going to happen over the next 24 to 36 hours. And then, going into the end of the month, you should see some phenomenal growth. Going into August, you should see some phenomenal growth. You know, you're at 26.5 cents now. I do expect that over the coming days, over the coming weeks, you'll be at 55 cents, 82 cents, and beyond. As August comes to an end, we should see prices that are, I think, around $1.80, if not around $1.80 to $2. At a bare minimum, we're looking for like $1.30. $1.20, but I really do believe that you're going to be at something that's just below $2. I like that $1.80 to $2 area. Okay, you're at 26.5 cents now. So massive growth is coming. Absolutely it is. You're just chilling right now. And it looks like the week's off to a bad note, but I would bet that by the end of this week, you guys, you're going to be up. You're at 26.5 cents now. You're going to be up above 35 cents, maybe even above 40 cents by the end of this week. Okay, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye-bye.